he had heard that Artemi was even contemplating going back to Russia after this season if things didn't work out. Welcome back to Up in the Blue Seats, your favorite Rangers podcast from the New York Post. We sincerely apologize for the hiatus, but as always, it's Mollie Walker and former Ranger Brian Boyle, and we are finally back. Now, Up in the Blue Seats may be back, but and unfortunately will never be the same. Almost 3 weeks ago now, we had to say goodbye to our friend and colleague, Larry Brooks, who passed away at the age of 75 after a brief battle with cancer. Bear with me here, friends. Larry obviously missed a few weeks of the show, so you all were aware something was going on. It all happened very, very fast, but he had every intention of coming back to work, coming back to this podcast, and continuing his Hall of Fame career. When him and I spoke, it was always about when you come back, because to us, especially to me, there was zero doubt that he was. But as I learned, cancer is an SOB, as they say, and I went through him quite quickly. It was horrible. It was really unfair, and it was shocking. But I know Larry was beyond honored to see the turnout at his funeral and the reaction around the NHL and New York sports world in general. I mean, the funeral was like a parade of some of hockey's biggest names and legends, which is fitting for Larry, considering he was one of them. Everyone from Lou Lamoriello, Adam Graves, Henrik Lundqvist, Billy Guerin, Rangers PR staff members, every single one of our post sports colleagues were there too, and even our competitors like Newsday and the Daily News. But it wasn't surprising in the slightest because Larry touched every single one of those people in some way.
Well, I'll give you a sec here and just
Thanks.
tell whomever's listening, it's a full life that Larry Brooks led, even though he was taken rather suddenly, and cancer is something that has never been fair, and what it's done to families and communities and the Rangers community and the hockey world. Uh, Someone was taken from us, and I think the respect that Larry earned. None of it was given to him. The respect that he earned and the toughness he showed throughout his Hall of Fame career and the grit he showed throughout his Hall of Fame career and in his battle. Um, I'll never forget just how poor he felt the last time I saw him, and that was at the dinner that the Post had for us prior to the season to kick off the season, which was, lovely. I had to work, so I had to leave a little
Eat
bit
and
early,
run.
but yeah, he gutted it out, man. That's what he did with everything. He earned every single thing that he accomplished, and his the outpouring of love and the people that showed up is just a true sign of a life worth living. He accomplished something. You can't take much with you. And you can't take anything with you when you go, but you can leave a mark. You can be thought of in a certain way, and he certainly did that. And it's not it's not what you accomplish, it's how you make people feel. And just trying to put myself in your shoes, just seeing what he's done for you and how he's brought you along and helped you. That's that's what living life is about. how you
Yeah.
make people feel because we're all, we all have an expiration date and you can teach your kids and grandkids lessons as he did, which was he was so proud showing me videos of his grandson Scott playing hockey. I would follow along. I'd ask him about it. We were very much aligned in that and youth hockey and just the game itself. I, I I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I maybe because we just know how tough Larry is.
I know.
He yeah, he's going to be missed, and he is missed. But he left an indelible mark. It's a high standard for you, Mollie, and you're going to work your ass off every day to try and get up to that standard. I know it.
Yeah, I definitely will. Yeah, I always wanted to ask a player how the Rangers prepared the team for Larry. I know you guys go through media training, and I'm sure they make a point to tell the players who the beat writers are and who they're going to be around every day. But I always envisioned Rangers PR putting Larry's picture up on a projector board and being like, "This, this is the guy you need to know." What do you remember about not only what the organization told you about him before you dealt with him, but what his reputation was in the locker room when you first got there?
It's it can be like going into the lion's den because think about it. And this is a huge compliment to him, but Larry's not a physically imposing man,
Yeah,
and he's in an NHL locker room, and
I
so
know.
there's some big tough men in this room, and it might be a little archaic or Neanderthal, whatever you want to call it, but that's what we did. That's the locker room, not in our regular lives, but we come to the locker room and it's caveman type stuff, and he's in
Yeah.
there. But his little corner of the locker room when he's there, that's the lion's den. Like you want to go in there, you go into the corner with Chris Pronger. All right. You want to go into the corner of the locker room with Larry, it's the lion's den. So you better be, head on a swivel.
Yeah.
And he's not trying to gotcha. It wasn't any of that, but he was just a brilliant man. And I was warned by my agent before I got to New York. And I had to remind my agent, like, I don't read, dude. Like, I don't read the paper. I don't read anything. I'm going to read the forecheck and the video. I'm not reading words on a page. Like, as I got older, I do read a little bit more now, but 23 years old, like, why do I need to know about this guy? And my agent made a point to tell me that. And my agent knew me since I was 16. Like, he knows I don't read, but he's like, dude, listen,
Yeah.
this guy, this guy will like chew you up and spit you out if you don't have your head on a swivel. So, and it was, man, right to the point, no fear there every single day. And my memories of him, because, I was an afterthought my first year, my second year started coming on. And I think I earned his respect in a way. And we would talk more. My memories of him were him and Torts going toe to toe. And it was like, and you heard what Torts said about him after his passing as well. He had so much respect for Larry, and if you can earn that guy's respect, you earned everybody's respect. He was difficult. We did have that media training. We sat down. They're going to lead you on with questions. They're going to make a comment and put the mic in your face. They taught us well. Like don't finish a reporter's sentence. All these different things. And that's why
Finish a reporter's sentence.
well,
That's gold.
you've seen some of these clips where they'll like
Yeah.
lead you on somewhere, won't ask you really a question and put the mic in your
Yeah.
face. And some of the it didn't always make us look great because you'd be looking at him on camera, being like, "Is there a question there?" And then you look like the ass. But that's what we were taught, and I thought it was a very good
Yeah.
lesson. He would figure out a way around that and get an answer
Yeah.
because he's like, this brilliant man in here with a bunch of dummies, and he's like, I'm going to figure out a way to get an answer there. And um, we all we all had a lot of respect for him because again, he didn't miss a day. He was there every day.
Yeah.
And he would write
Hmm.
something. He could write a scathing article. He was there. He could write a nice article, and he'd be there the next day after a bad game, ripping you apart again. Being like, what happened there? He expected, I think he expected from the National Hockey League players a consistency that he actually brought. And again, like you can't ask somebody to do something you're not doing, and he did it every day.
Mm.
So he was fair in that assessment. And there were others that came and went that I wasn't as fond of. Every year after, every year since the first year, I gained a new respect for Larry, I guess, which was,
Mm.
I mean, the best compliment I can give him.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Yeah, I mean, I also just want to take a second to just thank everyone who's probably listening to this podcast right now, everyone who reads the New York Post, reads Larry, reads me, just for all the unbelievable messages, the outpouring of love and support, even on a health site like Twitter. I mean, people have just been so nice and so kind, and um, the support is so much appreciated. And it's really nice to hear how much he meant to people who read the New York Post as well, and the people who listen to our podcast. So he meant the world to me, obviously. I've been a wreck for 3 weeks. As you can see, this right here has been basically an intermittent state that I've been in. So it means so much to his family too. I know that, and just I can't thank everybody enough. So really tough time for us over here at the New York Post, but um, everybody's support has made it a lot easier than it would have been. So thank you to everybody for that. Alrighty, should we try to transition to the New York Rangers?
Yeah, we can do that. Game goes on. Larry would yell at
All
us if
right.
we didn't. We have a job to
He,
do. We
oh
have
my
to do it.
God. He would actually be like, Mollie, Adam Fox is on LTIR. Why aren't you speaking about it?
I
So
know.
let's start there, huh?
Yeah.
Adam Fox, long-term injury reserve. Doesn't seem like he's going to play until after the Christmas break, which is, I think, 11 games at minimum. So that is a huge chunk of time. It looks like an apparent left shoulder injury from the play that it happened on. Um, just a huge loss. I mean, Brian, how do you see where the Rangers go from here without Fox for this good chunk of time here?
Man, he's been playing well, huh?
Yeah,
He's back, right? He was back. I love the pairing. Gavrikov, who,
I
man, what a
know.
what
My
a
God.
signing. The early returns on that signing have been very, very good. And look, there's no perfect player, but sometimes you put guys in spots where the best can kind of come out of them. Um, so a couple things, right? They have the five-man forward unit. Power play was the first thing I thought of, and I was actually doing the game with Kenny when Fox got hurt. I was watching that game, and that game was, look, you're going to have to figure out a way to compete like the Tampa Bay Lightning if you want to have playoff success, because that's the best team in the East.
Hmm.
And I know that Tampa lost to the Islanders, but Tampa's Tampa has no Victor Hedman, no Ryan McDonough, and no Eric Chernak. And that's like, including playoffs, like 3,000 games of
Yep.
experience and a
Yeah,
bunch of
just playoffs.
a bunch of yeah, right. A bunch of trophies. So you looked at, I was looking at it after Fox went down, and it was interesting that he went down in a game against Tampa. How can Tampa do this? And we talked about it all game. And I watched how they competed. And the Rangers lost that game Tampa was a little quicker um, to make plays, quicker to get on pucks, and they won every single battle. There's a
Yeah.
standard down there that I think Mike Sullivan is also trying to bring to New York. And listen, I'm not comparing the two teams right now as of today. I think Tampa's clearly above where the Rangers are, but I look at the personnel and the makeup of the team, like the goaltending. It's funny. I mean, you get two world-class goalies, both Russian,
Yep.
that can steal you games. You have two world-class wingers that are controlling the game like center iceman in Panarin and Kucherov, both Russian, that are
Hmm.
sort of allowed a little bit of freedom. Um, and then you got some hard-nosed guys, and you have Sorelli and you have Miller or Trocheck. I mean, a lot of these, there's parallels along the way, and
Yeah.
they just play with a certain standard. So when you're missing a guy like Fox, the Tampa's missing three of these guys. How do you endure? And I think it just comes down to that, the battle. And they could have chalked up that Dallas game, and especially after that tough turnover from JT Miller, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So that game showed me a lot. The game last night showed me a lot, and like enough was enough, especially at home ice. So it's a good step. It's going to be difficult. The power play might not be beautiful at all times, but if they get out to leads, they have that five-man unit. They could switch, put a defenseman on it if they have a lead. I don't think you need to really look at the power play numbers, but if there's moments in time when they need a power play goal, those five forwards are going to have to pick
Mm.
themselves up by their bootstraps and get something done. But it's not a good thing that Adam Fox is out for at least a month.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a huge blow. I mean, we'll definitely get into the abysmal home record that the Rangers have, but
Yeah, not
going
great.
back to the loss of not great, not great,
Not
not
great.
great, Bob.
No, not great.
Um, but I think that two players that we need to discuss in the wake of this Adam Fox news is Braden Schneider,
Hmm.
who gets elevated to the top pair with Vladislav Gavrikov. And I mean, the time is now to find out what the Rangers have in Braden Schneider. This is going to be, if he's able to stay in this spot next to Gavrikov and get these top pair minutes and uh, face opponents' top lines, I think we're really going to see what they have in Braden Schneider.
But I think the toolbox he's got everything in there. And I think putting him again with a Gavrikov now, it's not just the minutes, and the minutes do help. Like you're not allowed to dwell on something that doesn't go perfect in a shift when you have an assignment that night, and that top pair means okay, there's your top line, go shut them down. Um, if you can, I think as it goes, he'll get better because Gavrikov is that guy that can help him, that
Yeah,
can communicate with him. He's such a pro. He's very good at doing his job, and he's
he's so
predictable.
polished.
Yeah, he's predictable. He's got a great stick, and if you have a predictable guy, that's a huge benefit to Braden Schneider. He's gonna have an opportunity with him. I think there's a confidence thing there. I think he's a humble kid who works really hard. He
He
needs a little
is.
bit of he needs a little bit of arrogance. And you don't have to
Yeah.
outwardly be arrogant. You just need to be like, I'm him. I'm that dude now. And I'm gonna show everybody I'm that dude because
He can make those big hits, but it's really funny because you talk to Braden Schneider, you look at him and he doesn't have a mean bone in his body.
he's so strong. Like I remember playing against him.
He
He
is
just
though.
came up. I'm like, I can't knock this guy down. And it's starting to make me a
Yeah.
little angry here. I should be able to knock this clown over. I remember just one of the playoffs here. I'm just like, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna get you. And he would just like smile back. All right, man. Like it's just how he
Yeah.
is. He just plays like he's tough, man. He's a tough kid. So I
That's
root for him
hilarious.
always, like always root for that guy. I want him to like, I don't think he knows how good he is. And do you think
Yeah.
the Rangers would be upset if, Adam Fox comes back and Braden Schneider is like, all right, you're the second pair. We got Borgen on the third now. Do you think that's bad? No, that makes them all better because he's earned that
No.
ice time. And that's not a slight at
Right.
Will Borgen. It's like
No.
that this is that's how you improve as a team. So it's an opportunity for him. And I think the Rangers for sure are like, we really need him to kind of grab this thing and run with it.
Right. The other guy, though, that became just as important is Gavrikov himself.
Mhm.
I mean, he has been, after I would say a few games where he settled in at the very beginning,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, since then, straightforward, incredibly polished, incredibly effective. And the offensive contributions have been a very, very pleasant and welcome surprise for the Rangers. I mean, Mike Sullivan was asked about it after the Stars game, after Gavrikov had the overtime winner. And he admitted that he did not think that he would have 5 goals 20 something games into the
yeah,
season because that's not necessarily his game. He's a defense first guy, but he's got that great stick. He's got an even better stick in front of the net that I think anybody expected him to have. He's had a couple of really, really impressive tip-ins right in
yeah.
front there. Um, and I mean, it's going to be so important for him to continue on this streak that he's on right now with Adam Fox out because Fox is obviously the production that he brings. I mean, him and
Mm.
Artemi are just those guys that just they rack up the points. They just everything that they touch, it goes into the back of the net eventually. So losing that kind of production at Adam Fox is going to be a huge blow. So if Gavrikov could chip in a couple of goals here and there, it's just going to be, I mean, so important for them.
Yeah, I think Mike Sullivan talked about it a couple of weeks ago. We want to get our D more involved. And you see them down, they cycle low into the zone. The forwards have been coming up and they don't just peel right out. They're supporting the play. It's not like a risky, we're down 2 goals, let's take a chance. It's a concerted effort to try and just stay involved. And they've all done it. The D have tried to do it. It was clearly talked about, and he's just been the best at it. He had a little backhand one-touch dish to Edstrom, a few games ago that was a thing of beauty because he's down there,
Yeah.
and that's the play to be made. So it's not like going away from the structure of the team and how you're supposed to play to create offense. It's within the team's sort of structure. Everybody's on the same page, and he's contributing. They're going in the net, and that's like Gavrikov can't be Adam Fox. It's not like, hey, go be him now because he's out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, nobody can. There's no one in the
Yeah.
organization. There's not many people in the world that, if any, that play like Adam Fox. He's the most cerebral defenseman, I think, in the league. Just
Yep.
how effective he is with the gifts he has. He's not Kel McCarr, but he's second to him in points amongst
Mm.
defensemen in the whole entire league. So he's got some superpowers of his own that are very unique to him. Gavrikov can't be that. He can be him.
No.
No, and he's
Mm-hmm.
he's done that very well. It's going to be interesting how they platoon the rest. How do you use Scott Morrow without
Mm-hmm.
giving him too much? You don't necessarily want to overload him with certain things. I think they did a good job of that because look, you got to play today, and this is Dallas, who is, you know, 8-1-1 or 9-0-1 in their
Yeah.
last 10 or something. It was like
Yep.
in the West and they score
Yep.
6 goals a game, it's like, all right, have fun. No, they protected him, played around 13 minutes. Like that, look, this is what it is. So this is where you need to
Mm.
get to. And I thought they did a good job with that. It's one game, but it's on home ice against a really good team. And
Count it.
and they did, yeah. You got a 6-on-5 goal quickly.
Yeah.
It's those guys too, like the Will Coolies, like you're gonna have opportunity because we need you to. It was it was a good win. It was entertaining for sure.
It was. It was. All right. We'll get to that soon, but more injury news that we should touch on. Adam Edstrom is now day to day with a lower body injury. He missed the Stars game on Tuesday night.
Was that morning
Um,
skate?
I was not, no, it was the day before. It was practice.
Practice.
I wasn't there, but he left early
Yeah.
from practice. So something must have happened there. Um, they're saying day to day, so could just be a one game thing.
Hmm.
I guess we'll see in Ottawa, which I am heading to later today. Matt
Beautiful.
Rempe, and the beautiful. I'm gonna go skating on the canal.
Nice. Take a
It's
video.
like it's like really cold there right now.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Get your
Matt
passport out.
Rempe. I know it's sitting on my desk. I'm the type I need to look at my passport 6 times before I
Same.
leave for the airport.
I'd be holding it in my
I'm
hand.
glad I'm not alone. Yeah, opening it like
In there. Okay.
oh my God. All right. Anyway, Matt Rempe has missed 19 straight games
Oof.
with an upper body injury, probably a hand injury from the Ryan Reeves fight. Sullivan said it's not worth discussing him yet because he's not exactly close just yet. He hasn't skated with the team, but I did hear that he was on schedule with the original timeline he was given, maybe even a bit ahead. So that is a positive development.
Mhm.
Um, and I think Jonathan Quick will be back this week from a lower body injury. He was not able to back up Shesterkin Tuesday night against the Stars. They had Spencer Martin up, who they just signed to a 2-year deal this season. So, yeah, that's the injury report. And man, it has been extensive this season, has it not?
Well, around the league, there's so many
Yeah,
games.
it is around the league. Yeah.
There's too many games.
Yeah.
Too
It's
close
a
together.
condensed schedule. Yeah.
It's hard asking these guys. It's not the 80s anymore. Guys come in, guys don't get out of shape anymore. It's crazy. So um, these young bucks, they all come in at 6% body fat. You're gonna get hurt. Got to have a little corner weight, boys. 10%'s fine. I was always the guy that lost a little bit of weight, body fat during the year. There were guys that gained it. I was blown away by that.
That's
Weirdest
crazy.
thing ever. Let me ask you a question. Off a little
Yeah,
bit off topic.
sure.
If you're Bill Guerin
Hmm.
and you have these goalies, like Swayman's playing pretty good, and
Oh, this is a
Hell,
great question. I know
Hell,
exactly what you're gonna ask.
Hellebuck, he has the knee right now, but you expect him, the Hart Trophy winner, in there. Ottinger's obviously a great goalie. I think
Yeah.
Spencer Knight in Chicago is like,
Yeah. There's
but
so many.
if you
That's the
bring
only thing.
right, but if you
I
bring
know.
three and
I
you need a
know.
guy who's like been
I
lights
know.
out and been in big moments and can play just like randomly once in 2 weeks, do you not think about
JQ.
Jonathan Quick? Like, do you not as your third guy?
JQ. JQ. Look,
But like,
this is my pitch to put Jonathan Quick on Team USA, so to say. You're gonna have a third goalie, probably not gonna play. Jonathan Quick is a winner.
yeah.
Every single person that I have spoken to about him, who have crossed paths with him in their hockey careers, he is he embodies the presence of being a winner. He brings things to a locker room that you can't quantify, you can't measure.
Mhm.
The presence, the things that he does to foster team camaraderie, morale in the locker room, that is him. That he is Jonathan Quick. Like that is what he has become over the course of his career. And I think settling into this backup role in New York has only made him even better at it, I think, and more accustomed to that kind of role. So, I mean, I'm biased because I would just love to cover more Rangers at the Olympics,
Yeah.
obviously, but I do see a very genuine argument for why Jonathan Quick should at least be considered to be the third goalie. Because I also just think bringing a guy like that into a room, I mean, it's obviously a stacked room no matter what, but Jonathan Quick is still that guy. Like
Yeah.
he is still that guy. And how awesome would that be to have Jonathan Quick on Team USA's Olympic roster at age 40?
I mean, like he won two cups. One of them was one of the best performances I've ever seen.
Technically three,
And then he was on a
because in
third
that
team that
same
won a
role,
Stanley Cup.
yeah,
Like that's,
yeah,
I'm getting there. So he's like he doesn't give up any goals anymore. Like he's been unbelievable this year. He's like 950, 940, what is it, 944
yeah.
save percentage? And
Let's bring it up.
it's not like the 95 Devils are in front of him, just giving up 10 shots a game. Yeah, I think he's sub two goals against. He's 944 this year. In a limited role. Like he's sharp.
Yeah,
And it's
944, 169 goals against.
oh man, that's unbelievable. And he's 3-3.
Yeah,
Imagine those 3-3. Um he yeah, I just think it's we, not me with him. And
yeah.
that's when you go,
That's what you want.
you want that in an NHL room, but when it's best on best, you need it even more.
Right,
And,
right,
and I think the USA team, I mean, Canada, these teams have done that. They've been able to, they did it at the Four Nations. Egos checked at the door without being like, you still are that dude. Everyone has to walk in there being like, I could dominate
right.
this. That's what they all do. But you have to, in that team concept, he's that guy to do it. And
Yeah,
man, I think, I think he definitely deserves consideration. I just was a little
yeah.
off
I
topic.
mean, listen. No, it's so on topic. It's on topic because I've thought about it too. And I listen, you can call me sappy or whatever, but especially when it comes to something like the Olympics, something as special as the Olympics, I think about the things that can't be measured, like miracle on ice level things. And Jonathan Quick falls into that category
Yeah,
for me. Like the magic, truly
yeah,
the magic of
for
the
sure.
sport. That is JQ. And yeah, so hey Billy, if you want to add another Ranger, we wouldn't be opposed over here at
No.
Up in the Blue Seats.
My second favorite goalie to come out of UMass.
Number two.
Yeah, well, my dad was a goalie at UMass, so he's my number one.
Wait,
Yeah.
why did I never know that?
It was very brief. It was like a year and a half, and then he started his large family. He left
But
school.
how was that not the first thing that you said to me?
I thought I might have at one point. My dad went, no, maybe not.
I don't think you
Maybe
did.
not.
I would have made a much bigger deal of that.
Yeah, Artie Boyle.
Wow. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to look at that.
the man.
Hmm. Where did he live on campus? Can you
I
ask
don't
him?
know. I can't. He doesn't. He doesn't. Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
love to know.
he's a funny fellow. I'll ask him. I'll find out.
That's great. Wow. So you do have the UMass blood in you. I knew it. I knew it.
A little bit of the zoo.
All right. So another positive topic of conversation, coming on the heels of a nice win at home. Artemi Panarin,
Buzzing.
another multi-point effort for him Tuesday night against the Stars. 2 assists, 21 points in his last 14 games. 6 goals, 15 assists. I'm not 100% sure if that's during the exact time that he shaved his head,
I think it
but
was. Honestly, I think it was because the first game
I,
after he
I
shaved
think
his
it was
head.
too.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I actually was cracking up. I was watching Trocheck's interview with
Yeah.
TNT,
Hmm.
and Biz was asking him if he has thought about shaving his head because of what watching Artemi
Yeah.
Panarin has done after he does it. And he said yes, but I think the funniest part of it was Biz asked if Artemi announces this to the locker room, tells them that he's going to do this. And Trocheck said that he woke up at 3 a.m., middle of the night, and did it. He didn't even know he was going to do it. And he just
Yeah.
woke up and did it. And that is so on brand for Artemi. That is just That's so believable and so Artemi Panarin. I can't even explain it. But on the flip side of all this positiveness, I mean, it's self-explanatory, but it just has got me thinking about how big of a problem replacing him and his production is going to be if he's not back in New York next season.
Yeah. I think Trocheck said his wife didn't even know. She just woke up and was like,
Yeah.
oh, who's this guy? Um, so
And
he,
she hates it, by the way. She
she,
he told me that, yeah, he told me that when he first did it, a couple of years ago, he did it in the summer and that she would beg him not to do it. Beg him not to. Please don't.
desperate times. It was not a good start
Yeah,
for him.
no.
Yeah, look, you never, it's hard to predict. He's obviously a unique talent, and that skill level and the offensive production he can bring, it's you can't really replace it. You'd have to, you know, dig into the new fabric of what Mike Sullivan's doing, and to so that would take multiple guys and a buy-in from
Yeah.
even everybody else still there. So it changes the DNA of your team if he's not there. But at the same time, they're smart guys running the room. They know, or they're going to set themselves up for, plan A, and then there's contingencies after that. I think they want him
Mm.
back. I believe, I mean, I'd heard there was an offer made. Um, Panarin probably is like, well, I'm still a point a game guy. I can be a 100-point
Yeah.
guy, so I'm worth this.
Yeah.
It's now December. It's not July 1st, so there's time. But I wonder too, like I feel like now in the league, there's a lot more. I don't want to say tampering because but there might be a little bit of tampering.
Soft tampering.
So there's some teams like, well, we would probably do this, talking to maybe not even the agent, but a friend of the agents, then it gets back. There's rumors. So, for the Rangers' sake, hopefully something can get done that's fair for both sides, I think. And
Yeah.
I think they're gonna try. They could be creative. They can do a number of different things to try and get that done.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know anything. I haven't talked to
I
anybody
know.
with the Rangers, but that's what I would assume.
I speculation, pure speculation.
100%. Not an
No, I
insider.
mean it's Brian, not an insider Boyle.
Not an insider.
Um, no, it's a huge topic of conversation as it pertains to this Rangers team and their future, I think,
Mhm.
as well. That's like why it's such a big deal. But I did actually ask him because I had a article sent to me from rg.org, which is a website in Russia. There was an interview with Alexei Kovalev, and he was talking about how he had heard that Artemi was even contemplating going back to Russia after this season if things didn't work out. So I, of course, asked him about it, and he did not shoot the notion down. He did not say absolutely not. He left it quite open ended, actually. He told me, I mean, you never know. Hard to
Mhm.
say right now. It's a very hard question, to be honest. And then he basically said that he can't comment on life and what might happen and, things that might change circumstances and things like that. But I mean, for one of the biggest stars in the NHL, not to completely shoot down the idea of returning to Russia playing in the KHL was pretty notable. I mean, what do you think about that, Brian?
Okay. There's, um, geez, how do I say this without, yeah. All right. So look, there's been a lot of reports out of Europe in general that parts of it have potentially been lost in translation. The fact that you went and asked him and he didn't shoot it down is another thing.
Hmm.
When it's contract time or your deal is up, you want to make as much as you can make as an athlete. And that's you
Hmm.
separate like that's your time where you're just thinking about you. And then 300 and every other day of the year or every other day of your contract, it's what's team, right? You have to think about you as a pro athlete because it ends fast.
Hmm.
And even if you have a long career, I finished playing at 37, which is, great. I was very thankful and blessed. That's a long time to live and provide. And some of us might have had a bunch more kids after we were done playing.
Some of us had a starting five.
Great, great blessings. My financial advisors wouldn't like recommend it, but it's like the greatest thing in my life. So, anyways, long story long, you never know exactly what's happening. I think there are some interesting uh, politics in Russia. There's
Hmm.
some leadership over there that loves their hockey.
Hmm.
So I just God forbid, I hope it's nothing to do like that. But if it's an
Yeah.
option for him to earn a living, that's better than. I think he wants to stay here. I think he wants to stay in New York. I think he wants to definitely stay in the NHL. I think he wants to try to win a
I
Stanley
also
Cup.
have zero doubt that if the Rangers aren't going to pay him what he wants, somebody else will. Because, I mean,
Correct.
maybe not exactly what he wants, but I mean, there were so many teams, the
Correct.
Avalanche, the Islanders. He left money on the table on Long Island to come to Manhattan. Like there are teams that I think will keep him
Yeah.
in the National
I,
Hockey
I
League.
mean, yeah, there's a lot of teams. So
Yeah.
again, I guess, is it a negotiating tactic? I wonder.
Hmm.
His response anyway. Because
Yeah.
whether or not, and he is not a dumb guy. He is a smart fella. This I tell you.
Very, very, very.
So kudos to you for getting in there and asking him to.
Yeah.
RG.org.
Yeah, I thank rg.org for the assist. Um, but yeah, we were kind of giggling because I caught him a little off guard. It was after a game, but it was after a 4-point game, and I'm writing a
Yeah.
column about how, geez, the Rangers are gonna be in trouble if they don't have this guy next year. So yeah, it had to be asked, and no stone left unturned over here at the New York Post.
There you go. Good on you. He's got
All right.
what's he, one of three guys who have over 400 points in his 400 games with the Rangers? That was a Cadillac trivia last night.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on and on about how he has been everything that the Rangers. I mean,
Yeah.
you can argue that he hasn't been at his best in the playoffs and hasn't, been as dominant as some people would have liked him to be in the postseason, and that's fair.
Mhm.
But there is no doubt that the Rangers don't even come close to the playoffs
Right.
without him in general. So, and I've been saying that exact line since 2019-20. I feel like people seem to forget about that all the time, that he plays such a crucial role in getting them to the playoffs to begin with.
His worst season, minus the COVID shortened season, in terms of point production, because it
Yeah.
wasn't bad the COVID season. It was shorter,
Yeah.
42 games. It was last season at 89 points.
Yeah.
Like he creates goals. It's hard
And
to do in the NHL.
he's led the team
Yeah.
every single year since
Yeah.
he's been in New York.
Yeah.
Every like that deserves its flowers. It
Yeah.
deserves its acknowledgement. Um, and he has every right to hold out until he gets what he feels like he's worth, especially with the
Mhm.
cap going out. So, but that is definitely something to monitor going forward. And hopefully for the Rangers, he keeps on this tear that he's on right now because
Yeah.
it's going to be crucial, especially with Adam Fox out. Um, yeah. All right. Let's cap it off with a big W on home ice. Big W on home
Huge.
ice. I think that the most encouraging thing that came out of that game was the 6-on-5 goal.
Yeah.
Rangers have not had one of those. in a bit. It's felt like, or at least one of consequence like that. So Will Cooley gets it late in the third with the
Huge.
extra man on. Yeah, just a really important game for them, especially with the way things that have been going on home ice. And I could see it in the way that they were playing last night about how badly they wanted and needed that win. They were
Again,
going for it.
yeah, I mean, Dallas is legit. Like 3 years in a row, Western Conference Finals. In the West, I don't know if people really understand how hard. I
It's a
mean,
gauntlet.
because of how, I mean, they're doing time zones and flights are just forever. It's really hard to recover. You can't. And like, yes, we are spoiled. It's private flights. You just hop on the plane and the food's right waiting for you. But you can't recover at altitude. You get more dehydrated. It's more than what the other teams are doing, especially specifically in the East. So there's some heavy hitters out West, and they've competed, especially in that Central the last few years. Maybe not as much this year, but that Dallas team is legit. And
Yep.
JT has a tough play, like has to handle a puck in his feet with 3.5 left. This is a grinding type game against a really potent Dallas team. And you look at social media after Rantanen scores that goal, and I'm like, people are like, I'm done. They lost again. And I'm like, there's 3 minutes left. There's 3 minutes left in the game. So they get it 6-on-5. They pull Igor, and how long after the faceoff was that goal scored? I mean, they
Yeah.
attacked. They're like, enough is enough.
Yeah.
And even if
Yeah.
that doesn't go in, I think they eventually tied because they were like, we're
They were
not
hunting.
we're
Yeah.
not doing this again.
Yeah.
And then Vladdy Gavrikov just getting her done.
What a play. What a play. Seriously. I mean, going back to what we were talking about him, I mean,
That's the play.
he's been
Drive the middle
yeah,
because it's a 3-on-3.
he's been a
It's not like, yes,
major
I'm
bright
not, I'm not
spot.
going to hang back because I'm the defenseman. Like, no, they have full possession. I'm going to drive through, try to create space, and then Mika gets it over to Artemi, and he could have passed the Gavrikov, but like, if I'm Artemi and I'm between the hash marks, I'm shooting all day. That's the right
Yeah.
play,
Yeah.
and he's there for the rebound. Now, I'll say this, talking about Team USA, Jason Robertson's been on fire.
I know.
He didn't make the Four Nations last year. Back check and the effort shown in the overtime is what's going to give Billy. He's going to have questions about like what just it was
Yeah.
pretty just pedestrian, which allowed the Rangers to
Yep.
come up through the ice, and
Yep.
that's how hard it is to win. This guy's been on fire.
I know.
Gives a little effort on Mika, you can maybe get that puck back,
Hmm.
and I like the kid. Played with him at World Championships. They took full advantage of the Rangers. You got to give them credit. They willed themselves to a win against a very good team on home ice.
My
Positive
God.
things.
Brian, you got me so excited for the Olympics. I can't freaking wait. I literally can't wait. I need everybody to comment on this YouTube video and tell my editor that he needs to send me to Milan. Go ahead, everybody down below. Just say Mollie has to go to Milan. She does.
What
She has
happens?
to be there.
What happens if you get there and the rink's still not finished?
Possibility. Or I was just thinking, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to write that story about the size of the rink and how
It's too
it's
small.
smaller. And I can't wait to ask all the players about how are they going to adjust? How is that going to work for them? Are they going to be able to notice when what is it? It's only like, it's not even that much smaller, but it is
4 feet's
smaller.
a lot. 4 feet's a lot.
4 feet?
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't know it was 4 feet. How
196
does
now, I
that
guess.
happen? I'm sorry.
Well,
How does
listen,
that happen?
you get an Olympic bid, and then you only have like 8 years to build a rink, and everybody knows rinks take at least 45 years to build. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Um,
I'm really curious how in the world that happens. But I mean,
I
hopefully
think
I'll get to measure it myself in Milan
I think
for
more
all of our
offense.
loyal listeners.
There'll be more goals. There'll be ugly goals, but more goals. Like
Yeah.
when you shrink it, things happen faster. Like the Olympic sheet. everyone just stays to the outside and you can't get inside, and it's
Yeah,
almost like a soccer game. I think you shrink the rink and turn it into just a complete gong show. Chaos. Love it.
legit chaos. Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, bring it on. Let's
Imagine
make it a
Tom,
few feature.
yeah. Imagine Tom Wilson coming down the forecheck. He only has to go like 58 feet instead of 60,
God help.
65.
God help them.
Oh,
God help the
man.
people in front of him.
Head on a swivel.
All right. On that note, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening to Up in the Blue Seats. As always, give us a thumbs up, comment down below. What do you think is going to happen with Artemi Panarin? Are you still freaking out about the Rangers' home record? How big was that overtime win against the Stars? Is Mollie going to go to Milan? Let us know down below. Thanks, and we'll talk to you guys again next week.
What's up, Giants fans? This is Brendan London, and every week I'm here with Paul Schwartz bringing you Blue Rush, presented by the New York Post. So check this out. Twice a week, we dive into everything G-Men. We're talking about game recaps, player performances, draft predictions, and all the breaking news and roster moves that's going to shape the future of this football team. But it's not just the headlines we're talking about. We're also discussing the unsung heroes, the X's and O's of the game, and what you, the Giants fans, are talking about online. And on Sundays, we go live with a post-game reaction. If you bleed blue, you need to be tuned in. We're checking in with all sorts of guests, from our beat writers to super fans to past and present players. Do not want to miss out on any of the action, the passionate debates, and of course, our exclusive insights. So subscribe to Blue Rush wherever you get your podcasts. And as always, let's go Big Blue.